Hey guys, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel. So something I really should say all the time and I really don't. I guess I always assume that you guys already know this, but everything I say on my channel is my own personal opinion. Nothing I say reflects on my own airline or what they have to do, say, whatever. So just so you know, because I might be talking about something in a minute that some of you might not like, and I want you to know that it has no bearing on my company, and it's nothing of their own opinion. I'm not even saying this right, but so the administration of this country recently stated that they're going to go about trying to define gender. And apparently it's going to be based solely, or this is what their attempt is, to base it solely on your, basically your genitals at birth. You're born a boy, you're a boy. Legally and forever. And, you know, if you don't have any transgender folks in your life, that might make a lot of sense. If you know someone who is transgender, certainly most certainly if you are transgender, if you know or love anyone who is transgender, you know that that is false. Again, if you don't have any experience with folks that are transgendered, the whole topic might seem sort of black and white. And it is, maybe for you, in that boys are boys, girls are girls. But once you are invited into the life of someone who is transgendered, you start to understand the complexities of gender, and sometimes it's fluidity. Now, I'm not the most eloquent speaker on the topic, but I do have a little experience in that I have a number of friends who are transgendered, and I can promise you that they are the best human beings I know. Not because they're transgender, but partially because they are able to live their absolute truth without filter, without wondering what you think about who they are at their genetic level. It doesn't matter. Now, I'm not sure how I'm gonna title this video. Let me take a break. I'm not sure how I'm gonna title this video. But it's probably going to be something about my favorite ex-boyfriend. Back in 1993, I think it was 93, June of 1993, I was living in Boston, and it was Gay Pride, and I was throwing a pride party that just, what is this? Oh, shit. Alright, so, okay. I'm going to show you one little teeny thing that I just came upon. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because as I'm piecing this together, it gets worse. This is a little makeshift something for clearly a baby, and there's the word stroller, right shoe, and I'm not gonna read to you what other things I see spray painted here on the road. This is written next to a crosswalk here on the road. There's no flashing crosswalk sign, there's no stop sign or anything here, and it looks like someone, probably a baby, I don't know, maybe it's mom or dad, may have just died at that crosswalk. Kind of throws me off my story a little bit. So when I say fly safe, I'm gonna Also tell you to walk safe and drive safe, because clearly someone didn't see that baby stroller and hit them. So I'm not even sure how to handle that one. But let me focus back on my story. All right, so what was I telling you? Oh, 93. June 93, it was Gay Pride. I was throwing a party, and literally one showed up to my party. Boy, I'm still distracted by that little altar to that baby. So that one person who showed up was just being generous because they had their own pride party to go to. And they said, hey, Stephen, grab your salsa. I had made a lot of salsa, and come to my party. So I did. And I met this little guy. I'm 6'2". I tend to have a type. They're typically a little shorter than me. And then I met this guy, Andy, and he was just adorable. He was so handsome and so cute, and he was so personable, and just all around very sweet. And we had a really nice time talking. And I ran into my friend Rob in the kitchen, and he said, oh, Andy's a great guy. You guys really get along well. Why don't you guys go out for coffee or something? And so I asked Andy out for coffee. And Andy, at that time had a little buzz cut, a little military cut, and he had a little bit of acne on his cheeks. He was built pretty well. He had a nice little physique, and I'm gonna be very careful when I cross this street here. So he was super cute and super nice. And so we met at Cafe Mocha in Boston, in Back Bay, and it was a fun little coffee shop. And we met there, and he was super nervous. He was so nervous. He actually knocked over a chair as we actually got to our table. He was just very anxious. And I must have asked him, why are you so nervous? I'm not that cute. I may have been. I was very young, but he admitted this was his first date with a guy as a guy, which kind of gave me a little pause, a little bit of, and he admitted that he was transgender, and that this is his first date. I was flattered immediately, and we had a really interesting lunch. Sorry for the music. We had a really interesting lunch. We had a really, really nice time. He told me everything on that first date. I mean, everything. He talked about his chest surgery. He talked about his relationship with his stepmom, and how difficult their relationship was when he was in his original body, his female form, and how difficult the relationship was, and how magically transformed the relationship became when Andy was genuinely who he really is. And it was just weird. But we had this amazing conversation. He even shared with me some physical details that I was a little surprised by. Mind you, I was 22, 23 years old. I didn't know much about the world or its peoples. And I was sort of just kind of a little struck, by this information. Here was this super cute guy sitting across from me telling me all these things. But we were having such a nice time. And so I asked him out again, if he wanted to go out again. And we dated for, that was June, I don't know, 3 months? Maybe a little longer, I don't know. It was a long time ago. And now, as I approach 50, I look back at that brief relationship, and I kind of consider him as a boyfriend. I think we did more than just date. I think there was some sort of relationship building there. But I remember the day that I decided that I wasn't going to go out with Andy anymore. We were shoe shopping. I was shoe shopping. We were at Aldo, and I was buying a pair of black loafers with a little silver bar across the front. It was very trendy. And I asked Andy what he thought. And he said, well, they're a little trendy. I went, yeah, duh. And he's a cat person. He loves cats. I'm deathly allergic. And then he's also a Trekkie, like a serious Trekkie, like convention Trekkie. And there are just so many things that we just weren't that compatible as boyfriends. And at some point, I realized I had been asking myself the whole time, could I go out with could I go out with a transgender person? Could I go out with a transgender boyfriend? Could I have a boyfriend who was born a girl? Could I do that? The whole time I have been asking myself that question, and the answer was yes. Yes. I mean, but there was something bothering me. That something bothering me was the question I should have been asking myself: should I be going out with Andy, not the transgender person? Should I, you know what I mean? Were we supposed to be going out together? We weren't a great couple, I don't think. But to this day, I still think Andy is the most genuine, loving human being I think I've probably. He's just so damn accepting of everyone. He loves everyone. He's such a good human being. The next person he dated, the next guy he went out with, he ended up marrying. I think it's Greg, which is fantastic. I'm super happy for him that he got married, and they've had a very nice, long relationship. But, you know, all of my ex-boyfriends have their little odd and ends, you know. Andy just happens to have been transgender. We had the most amazing conversations about what other people think. He used to go to the Y and swim a lot, and he wore a Speedo. And there's an appliance that you can buy to fill the front of your shorts. And at some point, I guess, you know, that decision, do I put that in there to keep up appearances for other people who are going to look at my crotch to define my gender? Or do I just wear a bathing suit, you know? And I think he decided to just wear the bathing suit and not have to stuff it to give other people the impression, to make them comfortable with his gender. Whatever. I don't know. I'm clearly not the most well-spoken person talking about this very, very, very vast topic. But I have a number of friends in New England who are transgendered, and they are better men than most of the cis men, CIS being that you are born a man and identify as a man, genetically as well as socially and all that. They're better men than most men that I know. Accepting, loving, caring, genuine, without having to walk around with this bluff and bluster of masculinity, you know? They are people. They're wonderful people. And when our administration starts to want to really kind of erase a lot of the growth and advances that we've as a culture, as a society, have I can't even say bestowed. We've allowed. Equality has made enormous advances. I don't even know how to say it. And to have an administration want to define people by gender when you can't define someone by their genitals. And again, if you don't know anyone who's transgender, how am I going to get through this little shrub here? If you don't know anyone who's transgender or don't have any experience with people who are identify as a different gender than they were born with, this might not sound like it makes any sense. But it weighs on me greatly, and it makes me very upset on behalf of the people I love. That my favorite, I'll say, Andy is my favorite ex-boyfriend. I'm sorry for the traffic. Oh, great. We get to cross. I'm very excited. All right. This is a really well-structured crosswalk, a very safe one. And people usually stop to let us walk, which is really nice. All right. So, this has nothing to do with my channel as a flight attendant, and obviously has nothing to do with my airline. And but I really did feel like I had to put something out there, because I feel powerless right now in ways of supporting my friends and my chosen family and my favorite ex-boyfriend. And it feels like they're being attacked, and their identity based on something that's not within their control, you know? So there you go. If you didn't like what I said, I don't care, honestly. And it's certainly not going to change my content. I'm not going to change my content because a few people disagree with that, my statements. Back about maybe 6 months ago, I made a comment about, I won't even say his name, 45. And one of my subscribers said, I really hope in the future you provide a more balanced point of view for your viewers or your subscribers. My response, as politely as I could craft the response, was basically, my channel is made up of content from my heart and my experience. I'm certainly not going to alter my point of view and what I share because someone doesn't like it. I suggested that he unsubscribe because chances are I'm bound to say something you're not going to agree with. And while this has nothing to do with being a flight attendant, this whole video, if you are going to be a flight attendant or interested in this lifestyle, you have to know now that you're going to interact and closely with members of our community, the LGBTQ, everything, every spectrum of people. You're going to meet and have to work with them and treat them with respect and honor. My own airline has, there's a lot of us that are gay, lesbian. I haven't met anybody who identifies as bi. Interesting. And I know that we have I know of one transgender woman that works with us. And I was really pleased to see someone working for us that is so honest and courageous about who they are. So I could ramble on and on, as you know, but I really wanted to put something out into the world about how upset I am that this administration and the people who support it are happy to force people to legally identify as what their crotch at birth presented. Again, if you don't know anything about gender other than boys are boys and girls are girls, this may not be a surprise to you. But for those of us who are part of a wider gender spectrum, it's a very, very difficult time. All right, so I have rambled on enough, and I thank you for watching, and I would appreciate any comments below. You don't have to agree with me, But you do have to be polite and you do have to be civil. If you're not, delete. No problems there. And once again, if I've offended you, I have to warn you. I'm bound to say other things that would be just as offensive. So you might unsubscribe from my channel now. Save yourself the hassle. My goal is not to have the most subscribers of anyone. So, bye, Felicia. Okay. For the rest of you, I love you. And I'll talk to you later. Fly safe, walk safe, and drive safe. And pray for that little baby that was clearly hurt. All right. Bye, guys.